Welcome to the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri for WCBN sports coverage of Michigan basketball. I'm Leo Blavin here in the heartland for Michigan's Sweet 16 battle with the Oregon Ducks. Let's get you set with our starters for tonight's action. Peyton Pritchard, the starting point guard for the Oregon Ducks. He'll be manned by Derek Walton Jr. for the Maize and Blue, Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, Zach Irvin, DJ Wilson, and Moritz Wagner. The starting five for Michigan. Joining Pritchard on the floor for the Ducks, Tyler Dorsey, Dylan Ennis, Dylan Brooks, and Jordan Bell. Oregon comes in at 31-5 overall, 7-2 on a neutral floor, which is where we will be playing this one. A capacity of 18,961 on hand. They expect to have that in total tonight, but as you'd expect for a game that's being played just 43 miles from Fog Allen Fieldhouse, the majority of the fans currently in attendance and that are expected to be here tonight are Kansas Jayhawk fans. They play Purdue 30 minutes following the conclusion of this one between Michigan and Oregon. The Wolverines enter looking to make it 10-1 in their last 11 and looking to win their 8th straight game. Michigan in their road blue uniforms, Oregon in their alternate yellow uniforms with the green numbers and green trimming. The officials for tonight's contest, Roger Ayers, Brian O'Connell, and Earl Walton. Michigan will start this game going from left to right across your radio dial, Oregon right to left. Jordan Bell and DJ Wilson will jump this one off, and it's saved inbounds by Peyton Pritchard, who had to track down a hard tap ball from Jordan Bell. Oregon starting with the basketball from right to left here in the Sweet 16 in Kansas City. Jordan Bell gets the basketball, going to work on the right block, bodied up by Moritz Wagner. The pass behind him and secured by DJ Wilson. First turnover of the game. Michigan with the basketball for the first time this evening. Zach Irvin and now Derek Walton Jr. corrals it at the time strike. Zach Irvin with it in front of the Oregon bench, and now Walton Jr., the point guard, feeds Wilson at the free throw line. His fadeaway jumper off the side of the rim, no good. Rebound tracked down by Ennis. Oregon likes to get 2/3 of their points in the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. They'll be held here, though, as there's 15 still to go. A fadeaway jumper off the glass and good for Dylan Brooks. Scoring underway here in Kansas City. Oregon on top 2-0. Oregon starting in a soft zone press as Rahman crosses the time strike. Feeds Walton. Wilson in the corner now. Down low to Wagner, who's guarded by Jordan Bell. Fakes with a shoulder turn, loses his court awareness and runs out of an angle and throws one weakly on the underside of the glass. Back the other way comes Oregon, having it stripped away, but a foul called as Zach Irvin got a bit too aggressive with Tyler Dorsey, the first team foul for either side in this game. And they're going to call it a shooting foul. So Dorsey will go to the line to shoot two to increase this Oregon 2-0 lead with 18:34 left to go in the first half. Dorsey, a 74% free throw shooter on the year, gets the first to go. The lead is 3-0 in favor of Oregon. They call Tyler Dorsey Oregon's Mr. March. He's averaging 20-plus points per game in 5 straight games. And he's got one tonight. He's too strong on the second free throw. The offensive rebound tracked down, and it's not able to keep it in play. Ball to Michigan. Oregon leads at 3-0 with 18:32 still to go in the first half here at the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. Michigan with the basketball from left to right. Oregon remains in that soft press, which they quickly retract into a 2-3 zone. With some man-to-man principles, Michigan works it around the perimeter. Jordan Bell bodies up Wagner at the far block. From the left side of the paint, he now slices his way into the painted area. His 3-foot hook shot, no good. Rebound tracked down by Pritchard. Brooks not able to hang on to it for a moment. And then he secures it, gives to Pritchard. Back to Brooks. Brooks, nice ball movement to Bell. Stuffs it home with a two-handed flush. From the right block, he goes airborne. And Oregon off to a hot start. They lead 5-0. Rahman just trying to get the ball in. He finds Wilson, who quickly sends it back to the Allentown, Pennsylvania native, Rahman. He's met at midcourt, just trying to get rid of it. Finds Walton across the time stripe. Now Wilson in the near corner. His three tickles the twine. Michigan is on the board with a three-point basket from DJ Wilson along the far side corner. Back the other way, from right to left come the Ducks. Pritchard drives inside, splitting the defense. Tried to pass to a cutting Dylan Ennis, who tracked to the corner. Although the basketball was about 5 feet to his left. Out of bounds ball to Michigan. Turnover number 2 from the Oregon Ducks. A miscommunication there, as Ennis tried to find a soft spot in the defense. However, he went away from the basket, which is where Pritchard tried to feed it to him. Out of bounds, Michigan with the basketball at the other end. Wilson, top of the key, three-pointer, left alone. Yes, sir, DJ Wilson, 2 for 2 to start the night here in Kansas City. And Michigan has their first lead of the game, 6-5, with 16:50 to go in the first half. Down low, Jordan Bell has it, guarded by Wagner. Left side of the basket, pumps, gets Wagner to bite in the air, and goes up for the layup. He's fouled there by Wilson. Wilson thought he had a clean block. He does not, and he will send Jordan Bell to the line to shoot 2. Second team foul against Michigan here with 16:36 still to go in the first half. Michigan on top of Oregon, 6-5. The 2017 Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year gets the first of 2 free throws to go, and we are tied at 6-6. In the early goings of the Sweet 16 in the 2017 NCAA tournament. Bell's second one goes around the entire cylinder but does not fall. And Oregon's 2 for 4 from the charity stripe today. The game tied at 6 with 16:25 to go in the opening half. Michigan with the basketball, working from left to right. DJ Wilson with it. Up top to Rockman, drives inside, has it poked away, and it's a turnover. Pritchard pushing it the other way for Oregon. His path to the basket cut off by Rockman, and Oregon will slow things down. Good transition defense by Michigan off their first turnover of the game. Leaving his feet and kicking it is Dorsey to Pritchard in front of the Michigan bench. Now Dylan Brooks with it along the near side. His 18-footer fadeaway off the heel, no good. Walton pushing it the other way. Dribbles behind the back and now uses a crossover and a screen for Wagner to get some separation. And they're going to call a off-ball foul against Pritchard. Oregon's first of the game, 15:50 still to go in the first half. We're tied at 6 apiece here on the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM, Ann Arbor.
Adopt US Kids presents Multiple Choice Parenting.
Your daughter just had her first breakup. Do you A, put yourself in her shoes?
How could he do this to you? And for Sheila, she has split ends.
B, console her?
Oh, sweetie, this is going to happen a lot. 4, maybe 5 more times before you get married.
C, take charge?
Got to get this all straightened out. Give a little talking to, man to man, mano a mano. Hey, Steve! Is now a good time? No? Okay, no problem. Bye.
Or D, help her find a new boyfriend?
I know a great place to meet boys. The internet. Nice, single boys. Never mind. How about some ice cream?
As a parent, there are no perfect answers. But you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
For more information on how you can adopt, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
When I was little, I didn't talk for a long time. I liked things to always be the same. Anything new or different would scare and upset me. I was very sensitive to lights and sounds. It was almost like I had bigger eyes and ears than everyone else. So I built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. I didn't like looking people in the eye. It made me feel uncomfortable. I'd throw big tantrums over little things like when my socks didn't match. Sometimes I'd do the same things over and over. Until one day, I found out I had autism. My family got me help. Slowly, I learned how to live with it better.
You can see signs of autism in children as young as 18 months. Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball. Michigan and Oregon tied at 6 apiece here in the opening game of the Sweet 16 round of the 2017 NCAA tournament. I'm Leo Blavin. They actually called that foul against Jordan Bell, and that's big for Oregon. Oregon, of course, lost their starting center, Chris Boucher, who tore his ACL in the Pac-12 tournament semifinal game versus Cal back on March 10th. Boucher averaged just under 12 points per game, 6.1 rebounds per game, and a team-high 2.6 blocks per game as the Ducks starting center. In his place, who's been starting lately, is Jordan Bell. And Oregon does not have a deep bench. They like to go about 7 deep. Can't afford Jordan Bell to pick up another one here in the early goings of this game, but he's still on the floor for the Ducks. Michigan with the basketball, working left to right. Walton goes up in the air, has a shot altered, so instead he decides to defer to Wagner. Wagner, his lay-in at the glass, no good. Tipped around the rebound, but couldn't secure it. Back the other way come the Ducks. Ennis. Top of the key to Casey Benson, who was the starting point guard for the Ducks last year in their Elite Eight run. Comes off the bench now in place of the freshman Peyton Pritchard. A long two for the Ducks. They're one of the worst two-point shooting teams in the country, and Tyler Dorsey doesn't get it to go. Oregon likes to shoot just about 20% of their shots as two-point jumpers. They've been forced to settle for a couple long twos here in the early going, and Michigan will take that every single time. They have the basketball with 10 on the shot clock, working from left to right. Rockmon with it. Feeds Walton. A long three, top of the key, off the side of the rim, and the rebound brought down by Jordan Bell. Cold shooting for the Wolverines here early on. Casey Benson with the basketball for the Ducks. Trying to drive by Walton unsuccessfully. Feed down low to Bell on the left block. Spins. Wagner with good post defense, but Bell with better footwork, and he lays it off the glass with the right hand for two. Oregon back on top 8-6 with 14.5 to go in the opening half. DJ Wilson, the lone scorer for Michigan, 2 for 2 from deep early on. Michigan's three-point specialist Duncan Robinson on the floor for the first time today for the Wolverines in place of Wilson. So someone else is going to have to score for Michigan with Wilson on the bench. Walton with the basketball, 5 on the shot clock. Michigan just trying to get it inside. Walton instead will try a long three, and he buries it. Derek Walton Jr. on the score sheet for the first time tonight. Michigan back on top, 9-8, under 14 to go in the first half. Ennis drives, step back jumper, too strong, and the rebound brought down by Urban. However, a turnover in the backcourt. Dorsey gets it. Has it in the painted area, trying to split two Wolverines unsuccessfully. The rebound tipped around. Bell brings it down for the Ducks. In the far corner, Dorsey's three. No, and Rockmon brings down the board. Michigan with a disadvantage 2-on-3. Rockmon doesn't care. He'll pull up for a three short off the front of the iron. Back come the Ducks. Dorsey. He'll slow things down using a screen from Brooks. Tried to feed him inside. Instead, defers to Jordan Bell, the center, at the top of the key. Brooks with good post positioning on the much smaller Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman, about 8 feet from the basket. Feeds a cutting Benson, whose two-handed scoop shot is no good. Walton feeds a cutting Robinson at the other end, who lays it off the glass for two. Robinson cut in from just outside the three-point arc, and Walton with good vision, his first assist of the night. Michigan's lead up to 3. It's 11-8 in favor of the Maize and Blue with 12:50 to go in the opening half. Dorsey feeds Ennis. Ennis spins, gets to the rim, and draws a lot of contact from Duncan Robinson. He'll go to the line to shoot two. Third team foul against the Wolverines with 12:46 to go in the opening half. Michigan still on top of the third-seeded Oregon Ducks, 11-8. But Oregon will be shooting free throws 5 and 6 in the early minutes of this game. Michigan has yet to attempt a freebie so far tonight. Ennis at the line shooting two. No good on the first as Mark Donnell checks in for the first time. Peyton Pritchard back in there for the Ducks. He's joined by Cavell Bigby Williams for Oregon, and that's likely to be the 7 guys you see from Oregon tonight. Would be surprised to see any further. Of course, Michigan's bench only extends 8 deep with Xavier Simpson in a very limited role. Back the other way comes Michigan off a made free throw, and they're going to get an offensive foul. And it's going to be a charge against Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. The officials calling it tight against Michigan early. That's the 4th team foul with still 12:42 to go in the opening half of play. Good defensive positioning by Casey Benson to draw the offensive foul. Oregon comes back the other way from right to left, down 11-9 with 12.5 to go in the opening half. Ennis goes to work on Robinson, gets in the painted area from 3 feet out. Absolutely no stopping him from there. He lays it in with the right hand. Tied again at 11 apiece. Mark Donnell feeds Robinson along the perimeter. Now Walton with it. Gives to Donnell on a screen. Donnell back to Walton. 10 on the shot clock. Walton spins. Uses a screen from Donnell. Top of the key. Absolutely no separation. Going to work on Big B Williams. Gets to the glass somehow. Draws a lot of contact, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Nice work off the dribble by Walton with the shot clock expiring. He earns himself a trip to the free throw line. When we come back, 11:57 left to go here in the first half. We're tied at 11 apiece. You're listening to the Sweet 16 on WCBN Sports.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Oh, tell the world I see with an emoji.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Okay, so 5 tacos of cheese and a large soda, that's $10,012. Please drive around.
Wait, 10,000 what?
It's obvious you're buzzed and driving.
I've only had a few. I'm fine.
Yeah, the food's $12, but getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Please drive around. Actually, just park and come in.
Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Okay, so
Welcome back to WCBN sports coverage of the Sweet 16. Michigan taking on Oregon, 11:57 left to go in the first half here at the Sprint Center. These two teams tied as we wait to get out of this second media timeout. 4 fouls against the Wolverines, 2 against the Ducks. The last one coming against Big B Williams, so both of Oregon's centers, Jordan Bell, who picked up the first foul against the Ducks, and now Big B Williams, who picked up that latest one, each tacked with a foul. And if Michigan can manage to get either of those guys into foul trouble, that's going to be a huge problem for Oregon, who's already down from their starting center, Chris Boucher, who once again tore his ACL in the Pac-12 tournament semifinal game against Cal back on March 10th. Derek Walton Jr. will head to the line to shoot 2. Coming out of the timeout, Xavier Simpson on the floor for Michigan for the first time today as well. Peyton Pritchard, Casey Benson, Dylan Brooks, Cavell Big B Williams, and Dylan Ennis on the floor for the Ducks as Walton gets the first of 2 free throws to go. Walton joined by Simpson, Robinson, Irvin, and Mark Donnell. As Michigan going from left to right, Oregon right to left across your dial. Walton rattles the second one through. Michigan back on top, 13-11. Under 12 to go in the first half of the Sweet 16 between Michigan and Oregon. Brooks goes to work off the dribble against Irvin. Stopped at the free throw line and looks to kick it back up top to Peyton Pritchard. Now Benson Hands to Ennis. Ennis has a screen from Bigby Williams and will use it. Kicks it now to a cutting Benson who feeds Pritchard, top of the key. His three, no good, but they're going to get Xavier Simpson on the foul. And that will send Peyton Pritchard to the line to shoot three. A bad foul there from Simpson, and taking a look at the replay, Simpson just had to get out of the way as foot caught Pritchard on the way down, and that's a point of emphasis this year. You've got to allow jump shooters to land. Simpson did not. Team foul number 5 against the Wolverines. Sends Oregon's freshman point guard to the line to shoot three, and he sends the first one through. Pritchard, who had all sorts of confidence coming into this program, the lone Oregon native on this team, gets the second one to go. Came in with expectations to start, knowing full well that a returning sophomore, Casey Benson, started all games last year on a team that made the Elite Eight, and give Pritchard a ton of credit. He came into fall camp and made it happen. He's now the Oregon Ducks starting point guard and hoping to get him further than the Elite Eight, where they went last season. He gets all three freebies to go. Oregon on top 14-13 with 11:20 to go in the first half. Robinson works the dribble. Feeds Urban near midcourt now. Walton Jr. Both these offenses looking to get hot. Robinson pumps. Works it on the baseline. His fadeaway jumper from the near side of the floor doesn't go. Not his best shot. And Oregon will let him take long twos all day. They just don't want to give threes. They're doing a good job closing out on the perimeter. Oregon with the basketball, working right to left. Dylan Brooks. Pac-12 Player of the Year feeds Dylan Ennis. Now Pritchard with it. Feeds Benson. Benson at the free throw line, back up top to Ennis. Ennis on the dribble against Robinson. Step back three-pointer with 3 on the shot clock. Doesn't fall, and Oregon's three-point shooting continuing to be a struggle. They're 0 from deep right now. Walton tried to feed Donnell on a little screen and roll. Donnell wasn't ready for it. A pass back the other way. Bigby Williams somehow tips it in midair to Benson, who lays it off the glass for 2. Nice ball movement as Bigby Williams, I don't think, was expecting that pass. Managed to tap it anyway at the last second, and he found a cutting Casey Benson. A creative assist there gives Oregon a 3-point lead, 16-13 with 10 to go in the opening half. Michigan right now 4 of 11 from the field. Oregon 5 of 12. Michigan with the basketball. Robinson stopped at the free throw line. Feeds Irvin. A 3 from the right elbow. Misses everything. And that air ball leads way to Oregon at the other end. Ennis has the ball taken away from him. And they are going to call a foul against Irvin, who thought he had a clean swipe of the basketball. Team foul number 6 with 9:48 to go in the first half. Oregon will look to increase their 3-point lead. Casey Benson with the basketball. Tyler Dorsey back out there for Oregon in place of Dylan Ennis. And he's got the basketball. Feeds Brooks, top of the key, guarded by Wilson. Brooks on the dribble, gets to the rim and lays it up. His high-arcing layup does not go off the side of the rim. And Michigan will push pace the other way. Walton off a screen. Feeds Robinson back to Walton, top of the key. Michigan looking for easy looks. Oregon's defense has been stifling here in the opening 10 minutes of play. Nice screen by Donnell. Feeds Walton for a moment. He pulls up a 3, and he's fouled. And for the second time tonight, now 1 for each side, a foolish foul on a jump shooter. This time Walton initiating the contact. Looked like he was going to drive to the rim. Pulls up at the last second from deep. And he earns himself another trip to the line. This time he'll shoot 3, looking to tie up the game with 3 more free throws. As it appears Jordan Bell will ready to check in after the second free throw, but I think they're going to take a look at this one to best confirm that he was indeed behind the 3-point arc. And from the first angle we're being shown, it does appear that it is indeed the case. And indeed it is. So Derek Walton Jr., a nice short replay there from our officiating crew of Roger Ayers, Brian O'Connell, and Earl Walton. As Derek Walton Jr. sinks the first of 3 free throws. Moritz Wagner ready to come in after this second of 3. The lead down to 16-14 in favor of the Oregon Ducks with 9:09 to go in the opening period of play. The second good from Walton, who's now 4 for 4 from the charity stripe in the first half. It's the third team foul against the Ducks. And it's the first against Pritchard. Bigby Williams out. Jordan Bell back in. Bell with one foul. Wagner back in for Michigan as well. Martinell out. So it's the starting five with the exception of Zach Irvin. In place for him is Duncan Robinson out there for the Wolverines. For Oregon, it's Pritchard, Benson. Driving to the basket right now, Dorsey, whose shot is rejected by DJ Wilson. Dylan Brooks and Jordan Bell out there for the Ducks as well as Rockman goes coast to coast. His layup no good. Wagner looking for a putback, just now looking to kick it out. Instead, his pass deflected and taken away by Benson. Behind the back dribble. Benson feeds Dorsey, who thought about a three. Instead, Oregon will reset. Dylan Brooks, guarded by DJ Wilson, calls for a screen, doesn't get it. Instead, feeds Bell, cutting, and he misses the stuff. He was too strong. He was unguarded at the basket and just perhaps a bit too much of a showman. And back the other way, Wagner gets the lay-in to go. And that's a 4-point swing in favor of the Wolverines, who take back the lead, 18-16. A missed dunk at one end from Jordan Bell, who went for the highlight. And the fundamental laying off the glass from Wagner at the other end, much more successful. Michigan back on top by 2. The 8-minute media timeout in the first half upcoming. Benson will try a three. His shot off the side of the rim, no good. Oregon continuing to struggle from deep. They're now 0 for 3. Michigan looking to increase their lead heading into this next stoppage. Wilson will try a three, hand in his face, too strong. Rebound brought down by Peyton Pritchard. Oregon slowing things down. Just 31% from the field for the Ducks. Dylan Brooks looking to change that with a three, hand in his face. And once again, they're just not falling for Oregon, and that plays well for Michigan. 0 for 4 now are the Ducks from deep. 7:20 to go in the first half. Michigan leading it 18-16 with the basketball, working from left to right here in Kansas City at the Sprint Center. The Sweet 16 on WCBN Sports. Wilson going to work on the dribble. Bodies up. A much smaller Tyler Dorsey feeds up top to Rockman. Once again, he leaves it short. And Oregon will bring it the other way. Brooks feeds a cutting Bell at the rim. His shot contested by DJ Wilson, but they're going to call a foul. It's Wilson's second, and also Michigan's 7th team foul, so Oregon will be in the bonus the rest of the way with 7:02 left to go in the first half. It's Michigan 18, Oregon 16 on this, the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM, Ann Arbor.
I wasn't prepared to be a caregiver to Mom, but a little over a year ago, we realized she couldn't take care of herself without our help. And well, how could I not be there for her? I had no idea how hard it would be, and just what I would need to know. Things I never thought of, like how to improve her mood and, even for me, ways to stay positive. Luckily, I found the Caregiving Resource Center from AARP. It had articles about the basics that got me started, but also information about the hurdles I was facing in this new role. I could even connect with experts and hear from others who had been in my place. I know this road we're on isn't an easy one, but I'm really happy to have the extra help for her and for me.
Caregiving Resource Center at aarp.org/caregiving. Articles, tips, and tools to help you both care for your loved one and care for yourself. This message is brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Juice, Mom! Juice, juice, juice! Mommy, why are we going to the store? Mom, I want juice! Mom! Juice, juice, juice! Mom!
Your child will have different needs at different stages of life, and that includes the car seat. See, car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Protect your child's future at every stage of life. Go to safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
This broadcast of the NCAA Division I Men's Basketball Championship is authorized under broadcast rights granted by the NCAA through the Westwood One Radio Network. It is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other use of this broadcast without the express written consent of the NCAA and Westwood One is strictly prohibited. 7:02 left to go in the first half here at the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. Michigan leads Oregon 18-16 with 7:02 left to go in the first half, but they'll likely be without DJ Wilson for the remainder of the half as he just picked up his second foul. And expect to see a lot of Duncan Robinson down the stretch here in the opening period of play, as Jordan Bell will head to the line to shoot 2 free throws. It was the 7th team foul against the Wolverines, so Oregon will be in the bonus for the remaining 7 minutes of play. Wilson leads Michigan with those 2 fouls. He's got 6 points to his credit. The leading scorer for either side is Derek Walton Jr. as the free throws also not falling for Oregon, who's been 0 for their last 5 and is looking for their first points in over 3 minutes of play. And Jordan Bell not helping the cause, missing the first of 2. His second one is up. It is true. The lead down to 1. Michigan on top 18-17. The full court press from the Ducks upcoming. Walton trapped. Leaves his feet and feeds Rockman up ahead, who crosses the time stripe. Goes to the basket, feeds Robinson, open for 3. Yes, sir! Michigan hot from deep, and you can't leave that man open. The Wolverines 4 for 9, pushing pace the other way, and they're going to get an offensive foul at the other end. A nice charge taken there by Derek Walton Jr. As Tyler Dorsey was trying to push ahead. He didn't have numbers, but he seemed to have a lot of confidence. Correction, that was Dylan Ennis who lowered the shoulder. Oregon has missed 10 of their last 12 field goal attempts. They don't even get one up on that possession. For Oregon, turnover number 4. At the other end, Duncan Robinson rejected at the rim. Back come the Ducks. Casey Benson, left alone for a moment, picks up his dribble inexplicably and hands to Jordan Bell. Dylan Ennis guarded by Rockman in front of the Michigan bench. Skip pass to Dorsey. Dorsey pulls up for 3, hand in his face. It doesn't matter. Finally one goes from deep for the Ducks. They were 0 for 4 previously, make it 1 for 5, and Oregon's within 1, 21-20. Michigan on top with 6 to go in the opening half. Duncan Robinson with the basketball, tightly guarded by Keith Smith, who's out there for the Ducks. Another turnover for Michigan. Ennis, the lob up ahead to Bell, who stuffs it home with the right hand. He only needed one hand to catch it, and he certainly didn't need to send it through the rim. And Dylan Ennis with a nice one-handed alley-oop jam gives Oregon a 22-21 lead. This seesaw affair continuing in the opening game of the Sweet 16. Wagner picks up his dribble and feeds Walton back towards midcourt. Walton to Irvin. Irvin drives along the far side, kicks to Wagner, top of the key. His three-pointer too strong, and Michigan needs to hit those open looks when they get them. That one not falling. Pritchard, the blow-by, or rather that's Benson who laid it up too strong. And even the layups hard to come by for these two sides. Wagner will try it in stride, and that 3 doesn't fall. Michigan, which was so hot in the first 2 rounds in open looks from deep, struggling right now. Just 4 of 11. Tyler Dorsey dribbles, gets to the free throw line. Kicks to Smith. Smith down low to Bell. Bell faces up Wagner. Wagner bodies him up along the baseline. Somehow finds Benson, who throws a layup through lots of contact from Robinson. Doesn't get it to go. Ennis chasing it down, kicked it. Walton, a no-look pass up ahead to Irvin. One-on-one with the defender, lays it up, and it goes. And he'll go to the line to complete the 3-point play. They're going to get Keith Smith on the foul as well. It was Irvin one-on-one with Smith trying to get the layup. He does just that and draws the foul. It's team foul number 5 against the Ducks, and it puts Michigan back on top 23-22 as Irvin gets his first basket of the game. And we'll try to make it a 3-point play. Michigan, surprisingly, with no one on the blocks for this free throw. Instead, the other 4 Wolverines out there having a conference with Beeline. And they show confidence in the senior, who rewards that confidence, swishing home the freebie. Michigan on top by 2, 24-22, with 4.5 to go in the opening half of the Sweet 16 here in Kansas City between Oregon and Michigan. Brooks goes to work on Robinson, and absolutely no stopping him using that big Ontario-born frame to get to the line, or to get to the rim, rather, and lay it in for 2. The crowd continuing to file in, mostly Jayhawk fans in attendance. It hasn't been the loudest atmosphere for an NCAA tournament game. A tie game right now between Michigan and Oregon. Walton feeds Irvin in front of the Oregon bench. Irvin gets to the left elbow, his jumper short, and the rebound brought down by Ennis. Up ahead to Pritchard. Pritchard rocks the dribble. Gets inside, his 4-foot arcing shot no good. Rebound tipped around. Last touch by the Ducks. Ball to Michigan. There's a timeout on the floor. 3:43 left to go in the opening half. Tie ball game between Michigan and Oregon, 24-24, as these two offenses try to figure things out on this, the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM, Ann Arbor.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
It's 6:42 p.m. Time for Steve Plotto and his son Dylan to do the dishes. They talk about everything from the yuckiness of girls to the awesomeness of his soccer team. Sometimes they don't talk at all. Then, hey! The dreaded splash fight. It's Dad o'clock, and it's the best time of the day. Because the smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Michigan looking to become just the 6th, 7th seed ever to defeat a 3 seed in the NCAA tournament. The Wolverines and the 3rd-seeded Oregon Ducks tied at 24 apiece. You're listening to Michigan Basketball on the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. As the Wolverines and Ducks deadlocked at 24 apiece with 3:43 to go in the first half of the Sweet 16 matchup at the Midwest Regional here in Kansas City, the beautiful Sprint Center. Most of the fans in attendance, all 18,961 seats, expected to be full. And the high majority of those, I would say at least 80%, will be Rock Chalk Jayhawk fans. Of course, Kansas takes on Purdue for a chance to play the winner of this game between Michigan and Oregon. And if Kansas is upset by the Boilermakers out of West Lafayette, I'm not sure what to expect attendance-wise for Elite Eight, regardless of the winner of this game. Michigan hoping it will be them. Oregon looking for a repeat trip to the Elite Eight for the first time, looking to go back-to-back there in program history. Wagner gets to the rim, has it stripped away, and it last touched him as well as it goes out of bounds. Ball to Oregon. Michigan, an uncharacteristic 7 turnovers in the first half. This is a Michigan team that had just 10 total turnovers combined in their first 2 NCAA tournament games. They've already got 7 here in the first half with 3 minutes and change to go. Tie game 24-24. Ennis with the basketball from just inside the free throw line, in and out. And off the backboard to boot. Rebound, Irvin. Robinson off a handoff, his three off the right side of the iron. Brooks for three at the other end, leaves it short. The shot's not falling for either side. Walton trying to change that, and why not? Everything falls for him seemingly down the stretch, as Michigan's heart and soul buries the triple to make it 27-24 Wolverines. Dorsey looking to answer, and of course he does. Oregon's Mr. March with the answer for the Ducks. 27-27, 2.5 to go in the first half. Michigan with the basketball, working from left to right. Wagner hands to Walton, back up top to Wagner. Once again, he's left for alone for three, and they're just not looking good out of the big German right now. He's 0 for 3 from deep in the first half. Dorsey on a catch and shoot. Yes, sir! Tyler Dorsey flashes a three towards the TV crew sitting courtside. 27-30 in favor of the Ducks. Tyler Dorsey feeling it right now, leading all scorers in an Oregon uniform with 10. Back at the other end, a nice feed to Wagner, who gets it to go down low. And a nice pass from Zach Irvin, feeding the German big, and perhaps that will get him started offensively. 29-30, Oregon on top with under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Dorsey drives, feeds Bigby Williams, who's bodied up by Wagner, and that will send Cavell, Bigby Williams to the line to shoot two and try to increase this 1-point Oregon lead. 1:32 to go in the first half. And one of these offenses you'd expect is going to heat up in the second half. As right now both defenses playing really well, but both sides also missing a lot of open looks. For Oregon, this will be the 9th and 10th free throws attempted. They're right now 3 of 8 from the charity stripe, and Bigby Williams continues Oregon's struggles from the free throw line, and that's really what's kept Michigan in this game. Oregon could easily be on top by a couple of possessions. They've just been woeful from the charity stripe. 3 for 10, or 3 for 9 now rather, as a team. Make it 4 for 10 as Bigby Williams converts the second. Jordan Bell back in for him. And both bigs who were saddled with early fouls on their time on the floor have done a good job to stay out of foul trouble ever since. Meanwhile, DJ Wilson remains on the bench with 2 as Wagner nearly has it stripped away, finds Robinson. Robinson back up top to Irvin. Irvin cuts inside, feeds Wagner, far corner. He thought about a 3, perhaps hesitated because he's been cold from deep early on in this game. Michigan continuing to work it around the perimeter. Walton feeds a cutting Rockman, a nice pass, good anticipation, and Rockman made the good cut along the baseline to get the easy lay-in. Tie game, 31-31, under a minute to go in the first half. Dorsey guarded by Robinson. Shimmies, shakes, gets to the rim, lays it up for 2. Man, is he good, and he's been the difference maker for Oregon at the offensive end of the floor. Michigan has a chance to go 2 for 1 if they elect to do so. Walton hands to Irvin. Irvin from the free throw line, his long 2 is good. Tie game, 33 apiece. Oregon inbounds it, a 2-second differential between the game clock and shot clock. Both teams with a use it or lose it timeout. Expect to see Oregon use it in a matter of moments, as it appears head coach Dana Altman directing his point guard Casey Benson to slow things down and eventually take that timeout. Perhaps not, though. Dorsey with the basketball. Gives to Brooks. Brooks feeds it down low to Ennis. His double clutch lay-in is good. 1-0. Good if it goes from half court, and Wagner hits the shot clock above the backboard, and that will send us to the timeout, or the halftime break, I should say. Oregon on top 35-33 over the Michigan Wolverines. And it's halftime here at the Sprint Center. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball. We'll be back in a couple of minutes with the Ducks looking to punch their ticket to their second straight Elite Eight. Michigan hoping to come back in this game. They're only down 2. And in about 15 minutes, we'll be back to bring you the second half of coverage here at the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Missouri. You're listening to Michigan basketball on WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Welcome back to WCBN sports coverage of the Sweet 16 here at the 2017 Midwest Regional at the Sprint Center in Kansas City, Michigan, and Oregon. In a tightly contested battle, the Ducks currently lead the Wolverines 35-33, much like we saw against Louisville. Oregon heading into the locker room on top of Michigan, and for the second straight time during this 7-game winning streak, the Wolverines had a halftime deficit. Oregon, a remarkable 21-0 when leading at the half this season. Michigan looking to defy the odds once again. Correction, 25-1 are the Ducks when they take a lead into the locker room. Michigan will start with the basketball, working from right to left in their road blue uniforms with the maize trim. Oregon in their alternate yellow uniforms with the green numbers and green trim. The fans, most of them in Jayhawk red and blue, continuing to file in for that second game of the evening. Michigan with the basketball to start the second half. DJ Wilson on the floor after picking up 2 early fouls in the first half. His three-pointer short. Back the other way. Brooks, his layup no good. Walton brings down the rebound. Spins up ahead. Rocks the dribble. Pulls up in stride from deep off the side of the rim. No good. And Michigan still looking for their second offensive rebound of the game. Michigan and Oregon about even in rebounds. The Ducks with one more right now. 19-20 in that category. Oregon on top 35-33. And a nice drive and lay-in by Pritchard, who stopped his drive about 2 feet from the basket. Got his defender leaning back. And Oregon on top 37-33. For the Ducks, it's their largest lead of the game with 19 minutes to go in the contest. Wagner with the basketball, going to work on the right block. He's double-teamed. Kicks up top to Rockman. Works it to Irvin. Far corner, Wilson will try a three and gets it this time. DJ Wilson, 3 for 5 from deep, and he brings the Wolverines back within one, 36-37, 18:30 to go. Oregon with the basketball from left to right. Pritchard will try a three in stride. No. High arcing rebound opportunity that DJ Wilson secures. Up ahead to Walton. Far corner, Walton kicks up top to Rockman. Pumps. Drives inside. Path to the basket cut off by Brooks, and Michigan will reset the offense. Wilson guarded by Jordan Bell. Dribbles and gives to his point guard, Derek Walton Jr. at the top of the key. Irvin off a screen will pull up for a three. Late coming hand from Ennis forces a miss, and Bell, the only one there, and he brings the board down for Oregon. Dorsey has it poked away by Wagner. Chasing for it is Rockman, who doesn't get it, and he may have taken a forearm to the face as well. He's slow to get back, and Oregon's got numbers. Brooks will take advantage with a wide-open three. Yes! And John Beeline not happy about that one. He thinks Rockman may have taken an elbow by Dorsey trying to get back to the basketball. We'll have to wait for a timeout to potentially take a look at that replay. Walton feeds it up to head to Irvin as Oregon retreats from their half-court press. The Ducks on top 40-36, 17 and a half minutes to play. Wagner spins. Lots of contact. Gets it to go, and the foul. Moritz Wagner with a nice spin, and Brooks appeared to be in that arc underneath the basket because I think he had positioning. He may have just been too close to the rim, and Wagner takes advantage, gets the lay-in through the contact, and an and-one opportunity upcoming for Moritz Wagner with 17:23 to play. And Michigan back within 2. Wagner's first free throw of the game is pure. Moritz Wagner now with 7 points on 3 of 9 shooting from the field. They're going to need him to stay hot here in the second half to come back in this game. They trail just by 1 point, 40-39 in favor of Oregon, 17-10 to go. Oregon with the basketball from left to right, Peyton Pritchard. Dribbles, hands off to Dorsey, hand in his face from 3. It doesn't matter. Tyler Dorsey on fire from deep. Now 4 for 5 from behind the arc. And he's got Oregon back on top by 4. Michigan's going to need an answer for him if he keeps this hot shooting going. Wilson nearly has it stolen away by Brooks, who was a bit over-aggressive. Gets the whistle. For Brooks, his second foul of this contest. Second team foul for Oregon in the second half. With 16:40 to go, the Ducks still leading by 4, 43-39. Top of the key, Wagner. Guarded by Bell. Going to work. Handing off to Walton now. Walton drives inside, gets to the rim, lays it up with a scoop. Much like he did in the closing seconds of the Louisville game. A clutch shot from Walton on that right block, just getting it underneath the outstretched arms of two Oregon defenders to get it off the glass for 2. Michigan within 2. Dorsey kicks into the near corner, Pritchard. Up top to Ennis. Ennis off the dribble. Now Brooks with it. Back to Ennis, top of the key. Pritchard with it now with 10 on the shot clock. Hands to Brooks as they keep backtracking. Brooks finally feeds it inside the perimeter. Bell on the dribble. Splits 2 Wolverine defenders and lays it in for 2 off the high glass. Not sure how he did it, but Moritz Wagner and Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman not able to do enough to prevent Bell from getting to the basket. And Bell's got 10 points for the Ducks. Rahman with the basketball for Michigan. Driving inside, kicks into the near corner. Irvin left all alone from deep. Yes, sir! Zach Irvin with a 3-point basket. And the Wolverines back within 1. Can they get a stop? And a hard-charging foul. Dorsey picks up the block against Rahman, the first foul against Michigan this half. And that will send us to our first break of the half. Michigan within a point. Oregon on top 45-44 with 15:29 left to go in this game.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck as a gift to Dave 2037, so he can spend it on things like anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman, something cool like that. I think Dave 2037 deserves it. He worked hard. What are you getting Steve 2037?
I guess I was thinking Steve 2037 would just fend for himself.
Well, all right, but don't expect to be borrowing my anti-gravity boots.
You want to have money in your future? You got to start saving now. Putting some money from every paycheck into a savings account or contributing to your 401k can make a big difference later. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
Hey, let's just hope Steve 2037 doesn't get his hands on a cool time machine, because he is going to come back here and knock some sense into you.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/bloodpressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
15:29 left to go between Oregon and Michigan in the second half of this Sweet 16 matchup here at the Midwest Regional in Kansas City's Sprint Center. Off the inbound, Brooks gets it up and off the glass for two, and Oregon's made their last 4 field goal tries. Michigan, though, has been 3 for their last 3. Is the offense not hard to come by in the second half for either side right now. Eventually, you'd expect one of these defenses to step up. If not, be prepared for a shootout, much like we saw against Oklahoma State for this Wolverine side. The Ducks lead it 47-44. Wilson with the basketball at the free throw line. 2 on the shot clock. Rockman's going to have to throw up a prayer from way downtown. Too strong. And Pritchard brings down the board for the Ducks. Big possession here for Oregon and Tyler Dorsey, looking to give the Ducks their largest lead of the game. Dorsey inside. Good low post move, but he doesn't get the layup to go. Wagner has it stripped away for a moment, finally scooped up by Rockman. The basketball has been turned over 7 times for Michigan in this game after turning it over just 10 times combined in their first 2. Wilson left alone in the far corner. His 3 off the front of the rim. Brooks back the other way, brings down the long outlet pass. Forced to backtrack, though, are the Ducks. Ennis with the basketball. Driving inside, nearly has it stripped away by Wagner. Good strong hands, and now he takes a 3 from the top of the key off the left side of the iron. The rebound brought down by Wagner for the Wolverines. A 3-pointer would tie it for Michigan. The Wolverines just 7 of 21 from deep. They came into this one shooting a remarkable 48% in the NCAA tournament from behind the arc. Walton off the dribble. Gets by Bell. Feeds it to Rockman. Rockman drives inside. Top of the key. Wagner pump fakes. 2 on the shot clock. Wagner will throw up a long 3 off the backboard and off the heel. And the rebound brought down by Jordan Bell. Peyton Pritchard will slow things down for the Ducks. The 3's not falling, but Michigan taking a couple highly contested 3s during this stretch. Dylan Brooks will try a 3. Hand in his face. It doesn't matter. The Ontario native, Dylan Brooks, hits the triple, and Oregon leads by 6. Their largest lead of the game with 13 minutes to go. Michigan needs an answer at the other end. Rockman with the basketball. Now Walton Jr. gives to Irvin. Irvin will try a long 2. Tickles the twine. A clutch shot from Zach Irvin. And John Beilein will take a timeout. The first one he's used. Second timeout officially burned by Michigan. They didn't use their first half timeout, and it will be extended to a full media timeout as well. 12:48 left to go in this game. Michigan within 4. Oregon on top 50-46 in the Sweet 16 on WCBN FM Ann Arbor.
As an 18-year-old, I let my mistakes kind of take over my life. I was 0.5 credits away from completing high school, and I didn't do it.
10 years later, at age 28, Jackie finished her high school diploma.
When I found out that I was pregnant, I know that I had to do something for myself if I wanted to make her a better person and provide a better life for her. My family never stopped pushing for me to be better because they knew what I could become and who I could become as a person. My support team is amazing. The educational director, my sister, and even my 7-year-old daughter has just been more than the support that I could ask for. I've been given an opportunity, and I'm just thankful for it.
No one gets a diploma alone. If you're thinking of finishing your high school diploma, you have help. Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org. That's finishyourdiploma.org. Brought to you by the Dollar General Literacy Foundation and the Ad Council.
Hey y'all,
I'm Blake Shelton. I love that country music connects people all over this great nation, but unfortunately so does something else, childhood hunger. 15 million children struggle with hunger in America. That's why the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks works to rescue our surplus food to help provide billions of meals to families in need across the country. Join the fight against hunger at feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
I'm more resourceful than I thought.
My suit can still make an impression.
My video games are still game changers.
And my lamp can bring others a bright future.
Because when I donate my stuff to Goodwill,
it helps fund job placement and training for people right in my community.
Now my stuff gets a second chance.
And will give someone in my community
a second chance too.
Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. That's goodwill.org. This message brought to you by Goodwill and the Ad Council.
12:48 left to go between Michigan and Oregon. The Ducks leading it 50-46. Oregon with the basketball as well. On the floor for Michigan, it's starting five: Rockman, Walton, Wilson, Wagner, and Irvin. Ennis, Bigby, Williams, Brooks, Benson, and Dorsey on the floor for the Ducks, who have the basketball working from left to right and a 4-point lead with 12.5 to play. Dorsey with the basketball in front of the Oregon bench, dribbles to the top of the key, gives to Benson, and now Ennis. Ennis hands to Dorsey. Dorsey gets a screen from Bigby Williams at the top of the key. Now drives inside, getting to the right block, path cut off at the baseline. Benson drives inside, last touch by Rockman, and the ball will stay at that end of the floor. 3 seconds on the shot clock for the Duck offense, looking to increase their 4-point lead with 12:20 to go. It will be Benson inbounding it underneath his attacking basket. Just looking to get it in, finds Dorsey in the corner for three, too strong. Walton with the board. He got a nice look off that inbound with the shot clock running out, but he just didn't get it to go, and Michigan will take every break they can get down the stretch. Walton going to work on Bigby Williams, loses the handle on it, and it's taken by Dorsey. Back to the way Dorsey feeds Bigby Williams, and Wagner takes the blocking foul against him. Bigby Williams out of control without the basketball, but Wagner not in position to take that charge. And with 12 minutes to go in the game, Wagner picks up team foul number 2. And for Wagner, it's his second personal. Duncan Robinson will check in for Wagner. 12 minutes to go in the game, Oregon on top, 50-46. 8 turnovers for the Wolverines in this game, Oregon with just 4, and that's been the difference. Dylan Brooks going to work on the far block. In the painted area, his shot doesn't go. Bigby Williams, though, with the offensive rebound. His hook off the left side of the rim, and Wilson finally secures the rebound. Second chance points, 0 for either side thus far. Xavier Simpson feeds Robinson. Robinson pumps. Wide open for 3. Yes, sir! Duncan Robinson, welcome back. He was held scoreless against Louisville, but he's got 8 tonight, and Michigan within 1, 50-49 with 11:20 to go. Pritchard hands to Ennis. Ennis tightly guarded by Robinson. Irvin, good defense, but they're going to get a blocking foul on the floor. That will send us into another media timeout. Third team foul against the Wolverines this half. And also the third personal against Zach Irvin as we head to a timeout. 11:20 left to go in the game. Oregon on top 50-49, but don't go anywhere. You can't count out this Michigan team just yet.
Today we decided to walk to school. The light counted. 15, 14, 41, 31, 13. We took a left on Raccoon Street.
Danny's smart, but he gets distracted.
I realized
he forgot his homework.
I hope I don't have another bad day at school.
When you can see learning and attention issues from their side, you can be on their side. That's why there's Understood.org, a free resource for the parents of the 1 in 5 kids with learning and attention issues. Go from misunderstanding to Understood.org. Brought to you by Understood and the Ad Council.
Music is a bridge between the material and the spiritual. My name is Harvey Lauer, and I'm 82. As a blind person, you have to be aware that nobody can tell you what you can or can't do. You really have to try things. My folks got me a little radio in 1940, and that was the best Christmas present I ever got. When I was 11 years old is when I started to play music, play the piano, and then the accordion, and then the cello. My wife, who was also blind, was a good cook. When she died, that's when I started Meals on Wheels. America, let's do lunch.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
Both teams shooting 43% from the field. However, the Oregon Ducks 6 of 14 from behind the arc to Michigan's 8 for 23 performance from deep right now. The Ducks leading it 50-49 with 11:20 left to go in this Sweet 16 matchup between the Pac-12 regular season champions and the Big Ten tournament champions. Peyton Pritchard inbounding it for the Ducks underneath their attacking basket to Dylan Brooks in front of the Oregon bench. Brooks going to work. His 5 feet out. Hook shot, no good. Irvin mistimed his jump, but the rebound tipped around and Rockman brings it down. Had it poked from behind for a moment, but secures it once again. Wilson was leaping, trying to draw some attention to get a pass. He didn't get it. Xavier Simpson out there for Walton Jr. as the lead ball handler. Rockman, Robinson, and Irvin out there for the Maize and Blue as well. Irvin going to work on Bell. Steps inside the three-pointer. His long 2 is good. Zach Irvin doing it himself in this one, and he's got 12 to lead all Michigan scores. He's 5 of 8 from the field. The feed down low to Bell along the left block. Bodies up Wilson. Jordan Bell. His hook short, and Wilson brings on the rebound. Michigan looking to increase their 1-point lead. Their first lead since the 6:54 mark in the first half. Xavier Simpson going to work on the dribble. Settles things down back at the top of the key. You can feel the momentum shifting in Michigan's favor, and the Maize and Blue fans who have made the trip to Kansas City are on their feet. Zach Irvin with the basketball, top of the key. Going to work on Brooks. Crossover. Gets inside the lane. His shot blocked. He tracks it down himself. Step back. Long 2 off the front of the rim and brought down by Ennis. Back come the Ducks. Oregon looking to take back the lead and end this 7-0 run, and they're going to get an off-ball foul. Duncan Robinson a bit too aggressive, trying to prevent that inbound pass, or I should say that entry pass to Jordan Bell. 4th team foul against the Wolverines this half, 2 against the Ducks. Oregon with the basketball, working left to right, down 51-50, 9:40 to go. Derek Walton Jr. gets ready to check back in. Dorsey off a screen. Top of the key. Doesn't pull up, surprisingly. Feeds back up top to Casey Benson. Benson hands off to Ennis. 10 on the shot clock for the Ducks. Ennis drives, feeds Bell. Kicks it to a wide open Benson. His 3 is through. And Oregon back on top, 53-51. They're 47% right now from deep. And when you shoot like that, it's hard to get beat. Rockman dribbles inside, now steps back. His 3, too strong. And DJ Wilson fighting for that rebound, and he will draw an offense or an off-ball foul that will keep it at this end. Dylan Brooks, 3rd personal foul in this game and 3rd team foul of the half. Ennis checks out. Peyton Pritchard back in. So it's Pritchard, Dorsey, Brooks, Bell, and Benson on the floor for the Ducks. Rockmon, Wilson, Walton, Robinson, and Irvin out there for the Maize and Blue. Michigan down 53-51. Robinson looking to change that with a triple that went in and out. Michigan still with just those 2 offensive rebounds. And they're going to get another off-ball foul against Duncan Robinson early in that offensive possession. The black eye getting a little bit better for the Williams College transfer, who now has 3 fouls to his credit. 53-51 Oregon on top with the basketball. 8:40 to go. They work from left to right. Dorsey feeds it on a low skip pass to Ennis. Ennis driving inside the lane, gets it to go through the contact, and he will head to the line to try to complete the 3-point play. Just when Michigan looks to be headed in the right direction, the Ducks come right back, and the boys from Eugene have a 4-point lead. And that's 6th team foul against Michigan. Michigan, one of the lowest fouling teams in the country, but they've had it officiated very tight tonight by this crew of Roger Ayers, Brian O'Connell, and Earl Walton. Ennis trying to complete the 3-point play, and he gets the freebie to go. Michigan now trailing by 5, 56-51 with 8.5 to play. Walton with the basketball crossing the time stripe. Dribbles, hands to Irvin, screen from Wilson. Michigan just trying to get it down low to Wilson. They finally do. He pumps and gets the layup up, but he missed it. Uncontested. Bell bit on the pump fake, and all he had to do was lay it off the glass or even stuff it home. Instead, he takes a rather rushed, considering the circumstances, layup attempt, and he doesn't get it to go, and Michigan unraveling right now. The lead 5, and now 7 as it's rattled around the rim, but they're going to wave off the shot, and I think it's the right call. Jordan Bell had that basketball hanging on the rim. He didn't need to touch it for whatever reason, decided to do so. And we'll take another look at the replay. It was indeed still above the cylinder. That's the correct call, as Jordan Bell tapped it. Needed to wait another half beat or two. They wave off the shot, but there's still a timeout on the floor. Oregon on top, 56-51 with 7:53 to play in the game. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans. When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer. When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. But when we introduce a new stimulus, Save the Food, we're helping to stop food waste. Save the Food. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
They'll challenge your authority, because that's what kids do. But this car is your territory, and in here, your word is law. So when you say you won't move until everyone's buckled up, you won't budge an inch until you hear that click. Never give up until they buckle up. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council. For more information, visit safercar.gov/kidsbuckleup. I adopted Bento in 2010 from a shelter. A lot of people know him as Keyboard Cat.
That's just one adoption story that started at a shelter. Visit theshelterpetproject.org to find a pet near you. Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Michigan remains on top, or trailing, I should say, 56-51. Oregon on a 6-0 run over the last minute and a half. Their last basket, though, waved off as Jordan Bell touched that basketball when it was still clearly above the cylinder. So Michigan with the basketball, working from right to left. Wolverines trailing by 5, looking to keep this NCAA tournament run going and win their 8th straight. Walton feeds Robinson. Irvin now with it. About 7 feet behind the top of the key three-point arc. Now step back three, hand in his face. Hits the backboard, but nowhere near the rim. And Michigan's shooting struggles continuing. They're 0 for their last 7. And have not had a basket in 3.5 minutes. Dylan Ennis back with it for the Ducks. Kicks into the far corner. Pritchard's three. Air ball. Wilson tracks down the rebound for Michigan. Michigan looking to end a 6-0 Oregon run. Walton feeds Rockmon in the far corner, and it's back up to their point guard now, Walton Jr. with it. He's been the heart and soul of this team time and time again down the stretch. Can he get going? Wilson pumps from deep, feeds Irvin along the baseline, who lays it off the glass for 2. Nice ball movement. Wilson finding Irvin, who sat down in a soft spot in the defense, and ends the 4-minute scoring drought for the Wolverines and brings the Maize and Blue back within 3. Timeout on the floor, 6:34 left to go in this game. A 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here at the Sprint Center in Kansas City. You're listening to the Sweet 16 of this 2017 NCAA tournament on WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Leading scorer for these two sides, Tyler Dorsey, who led the team with 27 points on 9 of 10 shooting in their second round win over Rhode Island, including the game-winning 3 in the final minute. He's 5 of 12 from the field in this game. Michigan's leading scorer, Zach Irvin, who's 6 of 12 from the field, including 1 of 4 from deep. But the Wolverines 8 of 26 from behind the arc, while Oregon 7 of 16. That's been the difference, 13 percentage points in favor of the green and yellow from the deepest part of the floor. Dylan Ennis to inbound for the Ducks. Casey Benson out there, Dylan Brooks, Jordan Bell, and Tyler Dorsey. Irvin forces a turnover for Michigan. Walton with the basketball. Up ahead to Robinson in transition. His 3 rattles around, and Michigan needed it to fall. It does not, and Bell tips around the rebound that Walton fought for, and it goes to Pritchard. That would have been a big momentum changer, but those shots have not fallen for Michigan tonight. Brooks battling for position on the perimeter. Guarded tightly by Irvin, who feeds it down low to Bell. Bell goes to work on Wilson. Wilson with good post defense. Bell gets his own rebound. Putback attempt is too strong. Jordan Bell, a man-child down low. And the lead is 5 for the Ducks. 58-53, 5:30 to play. Robinson dribbles. Gives to Walton. 10 on the shot clock. Walton well beyond the three-point arc at the top of the key. Evades a screen from Wilson. Step back 2 along the right baseline. Yes, sir. Derek Walton Jr., a clutch shot to bring the Wolverines back within 3, 58-55, with 5:20 to go. Pritchard feeds Dorsey. Dorsey matchup with Rockmon. Gets to the free throw line, kicks it up top to Ennis. Ennis going to work on the dribble against Walton Jr. Gets inside. Ennis from the right block. His layup is good off the glass for 2. Strong move on the right block for Dylan Ennis, and the guard goes to work against Walton Jr. And the lead back up to 5. Michigan hanging in there, but they've got to get a couple threes to fall, you'd expect down the stretch, if they want to win this game. Wilson, he'll try a three. Yes, sir! DJ Wilson, a huge three-point basket for the Maize and Blue to bring them within 2. Finally, a three-pointer that Michigan needs falls. Dorsey looking to answer at the other end for the Ducks. He has the basketball. Driving inside from the free throw line, his long 2 off the rim. And Irvin brings down the rebound. Michigan trying to tie or take the lead. Walton from the top of the key hits the 3. Michigan back on top, 61-60. Back-to-back three-point baskets for the Maize and Blue. And Dana Altman will take a timeout. The Wolverines have come roaring back here in Kansas City. 4:15 to play. The Maize and Blue on top, 61-60 on the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, WCBN FM Ann Arbor. Don't go anywhere, folks. Michigan trying to get back to the Elite Eight for the first time in 4 years.
Hey, there he is. How's it going?
I'm having a stroke.
Are you going to shake my hand or what?
I'm having a stroke.
Wow, you're not even moving your arm.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you okay?
I'm having a stroke.
Your face looks weird too.
I'm having a stroke.
Are you having a seizure or something?
I'm having a stroke.
When someone is having a stroke, they may not be able to say it with words, but their body language will tell you loud and clear.
I'm having a stroke.
You just need to know the sudden signs. Look for FAST, F-A-S-T. F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. Or S, speech difficulty. Then T, time. Time to call 911 immediately, because the sooner they get to the hospital, the sooner they'll get treatment. And that can make a remarkable difference in their recovery. Know the sudden signs. Face, arm, speech, time. Spot a stroke fast. Visit strokeassociation.org. Brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
People are always looking to invest in a good opportunity. So what if you could invest in the future of kids, like a stock? Not the kind of stock that's about making money, but a stock for social change, called Better Futures. With your investment, it helps students like me go to college. My name is Charles, and I'm your dividend.
Invest in better futures with UNCF. Visit uncf.org/invest. A mind is a terrible thing to waste, but a wonderful thing to invest in. Brought to you by UNCF and the Ad Council.
.4:15 left to play in this one. Michigan on top of Oregon, 61-60. The Wolverines on a 6-0 run over the last 30 seconds of play. We'll still have one more media timeout left in this game. Oregon down to their final timeout. Michigan still with 2. And Michigan has been saddled with 16 fouls for a good portion of this half, but Oregon has yet to get into the bonus. Meanwhile, the Ducks with just 3 team fouls. This is not a game Michigan by any stretch should be winning. They're shooting just 34% from the arc, from behind the arc, on 29 attempts, but yet the Wolverines have somehow managed to hang in and take back the lead. Dorsey looking to change that with a 3, and he swishes it home. Tyler Dorsey with a huge answer. He's been everything for Oregon in this NCAA tournament, and his clutch performing continues here in the Sweet 16. Irvin with the basketball for Michigan. The Wolverines back down by 2. A big basket out of the timeout for Tyler Dorsey. Michigan's got to find a way to keep him contesting. Walton back to work off the dribble, guarded by Benson. Drives, kicks up top to Irvin. Irvin steps into a long 3 and swishes it home. Zach Irvin from deep, and Michigan's back on top, 64-63. Ennis at the other end. Driving inside, Walton with good defense, and it will stay at that end as he strips it out of bounds. Along the baseline underneath the Oregon attacking basket. 25 seconds still on the shot clock. 3:26 on the game clock. Michigan leads 64-63 over Oregon. Chance of defense from the Maize and Blue fans in attendance. The inbound to Brooks, down low to Bell. From the right block, gets the scoop shot with the right arm up and through. Oregon back on top, 65-64. You didn't expect this one to get out of hand down the stretch, did you? Michigan with the basketball. Irvin dribbles at the top of the key, going to work against Benson. Gets inside to the right block. Irvin from 3 feet out. His right-handed hook is up and through. Zach Irvin with a nice answer at the other end. Michigan now looks for a stop. Both teams on fire from the field over this last stretch of play. Dorsey, top of the key. Michigan trying to keep him tightly guarded. Irvin going to work on him now. Feeds up top to Benson. Now Ennis with it, resetting the offense. 10 on the shot clock for the Ducks. They've been so good from the field in these late shot clock situations. Bell finds a wide open Dylan Brooks. Late second closeout. Benson will try a long two off the front of the rim as the shot clock expires. No good. A couple open looks that Oregon turned down, and all they could do was hope Casey Benson could hit a prayer at the buzzer. He does not. And Michigan forces a long two, which Oregon does not like to take. 2:15 to go. Michigan on top, 66-65, looking for some breathing room with the basketball. Working from right to left is Irvin, tightly guarded by Brooks. Feeds Walton at the top of the key. 5 on the shot clock. Walton, he'll do it himself. Crossover. Step back 2. Somehow falls. It rattled around the rim a couple of hops. Walton Jr. looks at his bench like you expected anything different. The clutch shot, and Michigan's got a 3-point lead. Oregon will take their final timeout with 1:54 to go, and they will extend it to a full media timeout. Michigan leads 68-65. The Wolverines looking to close it out and punch their ticket to the Elite Eight when we come back.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I'd like to report a bear hug.
Uh-huh, okay.
Well, we were building a bonfire, and I saw some, dry brush and leaves around, so, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
.154 left to play. Michigan on top of Oregon, 68-65, as the Wolverines look to make their second ever Elite Eight under John Beilein, and a blocking foul, the call against Derek Walton Jr. with 1:49 to go. Jordan Bell lowered the shoulder, but they're going to say Walton was not set, and that puts Oregon in the bonus. And rather, it was Dylan Ennis who picked up the blocking foul against Walton. And he will go to the line for the front end of the 1-and-1. His team down by 3 with 1:49 to go. Misses the first free throw, but Bell gets the rebound and gets the lay-in off the glass, and Oregon's within 1. They'll take it. The poor free throw shooting, nothing new for Oregon in this game. They're 9 of 15. Rather, 9 of 16 now, but they're within 1 on the offensive rebound and putback for Jordan Bell. Bell leads the Oregon Bigs with 16. Michigan with the basketball, working from right to left, 10 on the shot clock. They have a 1-point lead. Walton with the basketball. Drives through contact. His layup altered by Bell, and he doesn't get it to go. Brooks Summer finally secures the basketball and pushes it the other way for Oregon, who can take back the lead with under a minute to go. Dorsey drives inside, spins through the lane. His layup is through, and he may have walked with it, but no call coming. And Walton will dribble it in front of John Beilein and take the timeout. A minute even left to go in this game. Oregon leads 69-68. And we will stay here. No full media timeout coming, but Michigan needs a basket. They trail 69-68, and for the first time during this NCAA tournament run, Michigan's chances of advancing appear in doubt, at least for the moment, but they have plenty of time left with a minute to go. Oregon with just 3 team fouls, though, so Michigan's going to have to earn this. They're not going to be bailed out by a ticky-tack foul call. That will send them to the line. Meanwhile, Oregon in the bonus the remainder of this game, 17 fouls against the Wolverines. Irvin, Robinson, Rockman, Walton, and Wilson on the floor for Michigan. Michigan still with 1 timeout left. Oregon has 0. Rockman gets the inbound behind midcourt. Now he recrosses the time stripe, working from right to left. His team down by 1, 69-68. 50 seconds to play. Walton with the basketball, guarded by Ennis at the top of the key. Feeds Wilson. Wilson will try a 3-hand in his face. He missed everything, and Brooks brings down the rebound. Michigan doesn't need to foul. There's a 13-second differential between the game clock and the shot clock. Oregon, a 3-pointer would end it, but a 2 gives Michigan a chance, a slim one at that, though. Dorsey with the basketball, guarded by Rockman. No fouls to give for the Wolverines. Dorsey feeds Brooks. Brooks drives inside. Wilson trying to adjust the shot. Doesn't, but Bell brings down the rebound. Shot clock is turned off. Michigan's going to have to foul, and Walton does just that. A huge offensive rebound by Jordan Bell, and he keeps Oregon's hopes alive of winning this game, and a chance to extend their lead now at 69-68 with 14.9 seconds left to play. DJ Wilson did his job denying Brooks his lay-in opportunity with his far outstretched arms, but no one was there to block out the far side of the basket, and Jordan Bell brought down the rebound. Ennis heads to the line for the 1-and-1. Oregon's been poor from the free throw line today. The first is too strong, and Wilson brings down the rebound. Wilson off the dribble, hands to Walton. 10 on the shot clock, or 10 on the game clock, and Walton's fouled. Oregon had fouls to give, however. Just the 4th team foul of this game, and it will be an inbound at midcourt. Michigan's got a timeout to use if they'd want it. 9.4 seconds left to play. Michigan down 1 with the basketball, working from right to left, looking to inbound at midcourt. Will Beeline call for a timeout? It appears not. Irvin to inbound. Gives to Walton. Walton guarded at the time stripe. 5 on the clock. Walton going to work on the dribble. Step back. His 3 at the buzzer. Off the front of the rim. The rebound brought down. And they're going to get a foul. They're going to wave this off, but that's going to do it. Walton had the step back 3 at the buzzer. It does not go. And they will instead wave off the foul. There would have been just a 1/10 of a second left anyway, but that's going to do it. Oregon wins, and it advances to the Elite Eight for the 2nd straight year, and Michigan will go home in the Sweet 16. It happened in a matter of seconds, but Derek Walton Jr., the guy you want taking that last second shot. Michigan fans will question why they didn't use that timeout down the stretch, but Michigan's season, one that appeared a season of destiny, will come to an end here in Kansas City in the Sweet 16, a heartbreaking way for what was still a very successful season. But it comes to an end here in Kansas City at the buzzer. Derek Walton Jr.'s long 2 does not go, and the Oregon Ducks survive as the 3 seed advances to the Elite Eight for the 2nd straight year. They'll look to punch their ticket to the Final Four on Saturday against the winner of Kansas and Purdue, as Michigan falls 69-68 here in the round of 16. On behalf of the entire WCBN Sports crew, we wish you a good night and go blue. Thank you for listening to the entirety of our coverage this Michigan basketball season. We'll have softball coverage for you throughout the weekend on youtube.com/WCBN Sports. For the final time as a student, on behalf of the Michigan Basketball Student Radio Network, I'm Leo Blavin. Once again, the final score, Oregon 69, Michigan 68. So long from Kansas City.